What's up guys, it's me, the Athletic Bro named FritzRolle732, and welcome to part 1 of my 3-part birthday special. That is right guys, if you are watching this today, I have just turned 21, and to celebrate, I'm going to do a 3-part 3-video birthday special. That is right you guys, a 3-part 3-video birthday special. For the first part of this birthday special, we got a brand new episode of my movie review series, except we're gonna be shaking things up a bit. Instead of doing your old standard movie reviews that you see on my channel, we're actually gonna be doing a little bit of a debate with 2 movies in this episode, because there's been a whole huge debate going on of which one of these 2 movies is worth watching in theaters. And the 2 movies I'm of course talking about is the newly named Harley Quinn Birds of Prey and the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Which movie's better? Well, I'm about to tell you. So with that being said, it is time for the first ever FritzRolle732 cinema debate. So since I'm already wearing blue, let's talk about the Sonic the Hedgehog movie first. So Sonic the Hedgehog, was it as bad as a movie as people expected it to be? Shockingly, no. In fact, it was actually pretty good. I mean, don't get me wrong, there could have definitely been some things that could have either improved a little bit or a lot, but overall, it was still a pretty good movie, and let me tell you why. First off, my positives. The visuals were amazing, especially Sonic's redesign. If Sonic's character was not redesigned, oh my god, this movie could have been so bad and would have not really fit that well with so many critics and so many Sonic fans, like seriously. But luckily, I'm so glad Paramount listened to the fans of Sonic and managed to give a second chance to like its design team and its animators and do so well with it. And speaking of Sonic, his actor, Ben Schwartz, oh my gosh, he was definitely one of the best Sonic VAs of all time. Like, definitely one of the better ones. But if I had to place him out of all the VAs, it's going to be a 3-way race among him, Jason Griffith, and Roger Craig Smith. Like, seriously, it's hard to tell who is the best Sonic VA because those guys are great, especially Jason Griffith. Like, he was my first ever Sonic that I've ever saw or listened to, because I remember the first time I started becoming a fan of Sonic, it was at the time where Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games in Beijing came out, and oh my god, and it was also the time when I first saw Sonic X, like, he fits so well, and then Roger Craig Smith comes along and Wreck-It Ralph, and seriously, it's a 3-way race, you guys. It's a 3-way race. It's hard to pick a number 1. Anyways, Ben Schwartz, you did an absolutely great job. And as for other main actors, Jim Carrey stole the show. Like, he absolutely did an amazing job as Dr. Robotnik, and his performance was like a blast from the past to his, old performances like Ace Ventura, The Grinch, Bruce Almighty, Dumb and Dumber. Like, his performance was absolutely crazy, and he was absolutely crazy and nuts, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Now, obviously, it's not as legendary or iconic like all the old performances that I mentioned, but it was still almost just as good. Like, it was still great. And so yeah, I love the visuals, like Sonic's redesign, and especially all the other characters. Like, I love the Echidna designs, and I don't care what people say about Longclaw's design, the fact that it doesn't fit well with the Sonic movie. I don't care. Her design was actually really good and very realistic to original Owl. And spoiler alert, I also love Tails' design in the mid-credits, in the mid-credits scene. Like, oh my god, I cannot wait to see him in the sequel. I'm already so hyped up. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw that, I was a little bit like questioning, where's his second tail? He's supposed to have 2 tails. But then when I saw the 2 tails come out, I was like, yes! Yes! Oh my god, that is our fox right there. That is Miles, Tails, Prowler, the fox right there. I cannot wait to see in the sequel. I was just so happy. And speaking of Sonic characters, that's also another thing of why I love this movie, you guys, because this movie was just so connected to, not only to the moviegoers and families, but to Sonic fans in general. Like, oh my god, I just absolutely love it. Like, they gave the Sonic fans what they want, and in the end, it turned out successful, at least in my opinion. However, there could have been some improvements. Let me tell you guys my negatives and my gripes about this film. Let's go from the bottom and let's start out small. There were a few cringy moments and cringy jokes in there. In fact, there was actually one cringy joke where I was warned by WatchMojo.com in one of their videos, and it was the spitting out formula but actually breastfed joke made by Jim Carrey and James Martin. Like that was in the final product. But funny enough, I forgot about it after watching it. And when I came into the movie and I heard that joke again, I was like, oh, there's the joke. But at the same time, I was chuckling because it was actually pretty funny. I mean, call me crazy. It could have been because of how ridiculous it is, but I don't know. As for other cringy moments, oh my god, Sonic flossing. Like seriously, I mean, don't get me wrong. His victory dance in that one scene where he defeats one of Robotnik's machines, I know it was awkward in the trailer, but it's not as bad as freaking flossing. Seriously, flossing? Are you serious? Like, if anything, I think it would have been better if we saw Sonic the Hedgehog moonwalk. Like, come on. That would have been something Sonic would definitely do, not freaking flossing. Ugh. In fact, not only did it happen once, it happened twice. Like, what the... So yeah, there were just a few cringy moments. And as for anything else in the negative side, oh yeah, there was also some poor camera shots and some issues with like the cinematography and stuff. Like there were some moments where in the film where you can obviously tell Sonic is standing in front of a green screen. Like there was some really bad like visual and camera shots and stuff like that. Like, oh my god. But oh well, luckily that only happened a few times and that didn't damage my experience completely. But seriously though, you could have done some better camera shots on that one instead of making them so bad. Like, ugh. And as for any other negatives, the supporting cast, it's not a big negative, but it could have been something that could have really improved because the supporting cast in this movie, I mean, given what they were received, they were fine enough. At the same time, you could have improved and could have done better. And not only that, but also James Marsden, he was fine. I mean, I would give his performance like a 6 to a 6.5 out of 10. But at the same time, he wasn't really as memorable and stuff. Like, if it, I mean, maybe if he was like played by somebody else, like Chris Pratt or Paul Rudd, like that would have been actually fine. I would have definitely seen Paul Rudd or Chris Pratt as the cop. Like, I would have definitely loved to see him as that. But instead, we got this guy, James Marsden, who I know him from Lee Daniels the Butler as JFK, or he was also Corey Collins in Hairspray. I probably said his first name wrong, but whatever. I don't know this guy. I don't know his roles. Let's put him in the Sonic movie and make him a donut-loving cop because, you know, cops love donuts and stuff. Yeah. He was not one of my favorite characters in this movie, but he was still fine. And by the way, fun fact for all you bronies out there, the singing voice of Pinkie Pie and Fluttershy and the speaking voice of Wallflower Brush, Shannon Cans, is in this movie. And she plays a waitress. Like, she's the waitress that holds the soda cans to which Sonic throws multiple darts at. And she's like, yeah, that's Shannon Can. Like, oh my god, I was so... When I saw that on Wikipedia, I was like, no way. So yeah, that happened, and she was fine. And just like all this other supporting cast, she was fine. But anyways, unlike the supporting cast, the jokes, and the cinematography, there's one big issue that I have, and that's the story. Why can't we make an original story, Paramount? Instead, you had to make the whole cliche approach where anime characters come into the human world, like Alvin and the Chipmunks, the Smurfs, Transformers. Well, actually, Transformers is more space, but you get my point. Seriously, why can't we get an original story in this? I mean, don't get me wrong, this is definitely one of the more better movies in this format. In fact, probably the best movie in this format, but that doesn't say much as an accomplishment or an achievement. That just means that it could have had a little bit more potential and originality in its own story that it was trying to tell. But overall, even though with all these negatives, the movie in general was fine with me. And if you had to ask me how I would rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a solid 7. Like, overall, I still had a good experience, the acting was great, and the visuals were fine, and like I said before, this movie really connects well with its audience, whether it's families, moviegoers, or Sonic fans in general. They did it very well. Could have it been better? Yes, but at the same time, it could have been way, 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 way worse. Especially with that freaking original design. Ugh. I can't imagine what Tails would look like. Ugh. And the echidnas. Ugh. As for Longclaw, hers would have been the same anyway. So yeah, that's pretty much what I would say about Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, as for Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey, well, before I talk about her and the rest of the gang, let me do a quick change. Alright, let's talk about Harley Quinn Birds of Prey. So, when I first heard about this movie, I was instantly excited. However, when it came down to the first official trailers, I was getting a little bit skeptical because I saw people's reactions and stuff like that, and people were like, why do we need this? Like, the Harley Quinn animated series is already great, like, we don't need a live action one. And when it came down to the opening weekend, I saw the Rotten Tomato and IMDb scores, and when I saw them, I was happy. I was like, oh my gosh, this movie's actually good. Now I need to see this for myself to see if it's really that great. And in the end, it was absolutely great. Had a hell of an experience. I got this thing, and it snowed outside as I walked out, which I gotta say is crazy as Harley Quinn herself. But in a good way, of course, because I love snow. And just as I said before, had an awesome experience. And here's the reason why I think this movie was great. Oh my gosh, we have a whole list of them. Like, there is just so many positives to talk about this movie that I'm just gonna go on a ramble real quick, you guys. I'm just gonna be rambling real quick. So here's why I like this movie. First off, the direction, both art-wise, film-wise, just everything in the directing department, spot on. Was absolutely great. Like, whoever's the director of this film, great job. Like, you totally deserve all the praise that you deserve about this film, because this truly is a work of art, Harley Quinn style. And as for anything else, acting, characters, just oh my god, so much fun to watch, especially the characters. Like, I really connected well with them. Like, Margot Robbie was a boss as Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, but she's an even bigger boss in this movie. Loved her, love Cassandra Cain, love Black Canary, love Huntress. Like, everybody, I just love the cast. And also, Ewan McGregor as Black Mask. Holy crap, he was what could have been the Joker in Suicide Squad. Hear me again, you guys. Ewan McGregor's Black Mask in this movie is what Jared Leto should have been as the Joker. Like, seriously, the level of psychoticness and just pure evil and just kick-assery and just oh my god, like, he was really good and so brutal, especially that one scene. Ugh. And last but not least, just a mixture of action and comedy, especially the meta humor. Oh my god, Harley Quinn breaking the fourth wall, I absolutely loved, because y'all know how much I love meta humor. I love it when characters break the fourth wall, especially ones that truly fit in their characters, like Harley Quinn and Deadpool and stuff. Like, seriously, oh my god, I loved it. And I was also so glad that this film was rated R, because seriously, if it was PG-13, we would just be seeing another Suicide Squad. But nope, it was just a great movie. Like, I love pretty much almost everything in this movie, except for there was only really one negative, maybe two, I would say, but only a little bit, not really a huge gap. And this is something coming from critics. Critics actually kind of gave backlash about the screenplay and stuff, which I'm not gonna lie, I agree with critics that the screenplay does seem a little random to people, but at the same time, it's meant to be that way because this is a Harley Quinn movie. It's meant to be random, and I mean, after all, Harley Quinn is telling the story herself. Like, seriously, you guys, if you study the movie, Harley Quinn actually narrates the story. The way that the movie is, told, it's just perfect because it's Harley Quinn and stuff, so I see really no problem with that. But overall, if I were to scale this on a score of 1 to 10, I give this movie an 8.25. It was just an amazing movie. And so with that, if I had to say which movie do I recommend more for viewers, now keep in mind, I know that the movies have been released for a few weeks now, and so having to post this video now would kind of, not do that much effect. But if I had to tell you guys which movie I would definitely recommend, Sonic the Hedgehog or Harley Quinn Birds of Prey, I would definitely go with Harley Quinn Birds of Prey. Like, it is an amazing movie, and I swear I'm not one of those trolls where it goes, support Birds of Prey. Like, I'm not like that. It's actually a really great movie. Watch it for the sake of how great the movie is. And for those y'all who are Harley Quinn fans and never seen this movie, go check it out. You're missing out big time. It's a great movie, like a great art style, killer soundtrack, amazing acting ensemble. Like, go check it out, you guys. Nearly everything about this movie is just so much fun to watch. Like, seriously, this movie deserves more praise than it's already given. Like, come on, you guys. This movie doesn't deserve to be a box office bomb. But anyways, so on that note, that marks the end of the 2020 cinema debate between Harley Quinn Birds of Prey and Sonic the Hedgehog. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, check out the rest of my movie review and MLP Grimdark fanfic review series, and all my other reactions as well. Click on the bell all as well, and follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at FritzRolle732. And as always, I tip my hat to you for a good show. And that is a wrap, everyone. See ya!